It is a Tex-Mex brunch today for my aunt and her friends in the sartorial kitchen. Kicking things off, it's my tres leches French toast. Then I'm doing a yuca hash with chorizo, a frittata version of huevos rancheros, a tropical fruit salad with agave vinaigrette, and tropical fruit smoothies. So why don't you pull up a chair and dine with us?
Welcome back, everybody. No, we are not in the sartorial kitchen. I am with my aunt and her friends, and we are doing a Tex-Mex brunch. And we are kicking things off with my tres leches French toast. Now, if that sounds decadent, it is. But tres leches, it's really just Spanish for three milks. Tres is three and leches is milks. And for the three milks, we're using evaporated milk, which I've just thrown in here. I got some hazelnut coffee creamer. We're gonna do about half of this container. And you can use any milks you want. I just wanted some, or any kind of dairy. I wanted something really different. And I've also got some crema here. And crema, it's like a sour cream, but it's thinner. And we're gonna do about half this container. The other half I'm gonna save for my huevos rancheros. Grab my whisk, I'm gonna go ahead and break up these yolks and just kind of stir everything. Okay, that's good. Now for the rest of our flavorings, I've got some vanilla here. I'm gonna do about a half teaspoon of the vanilla. Some cinnamon, 1 teaspoon of cinnamon, oops. And I've got some pumpkin pie spice here, and you can throw whatever seasonings you like in here. I just like a lot of those warming kind of spices. This one I'm only doing a half teaspoon, it's a little stronger. Of course, some salt. Salt is very important in sweet things because it balances out everything. And some melted butter, or room temp butter, about a half stick. And she had some oranges here, so I thought I would just grab one and we'll throw a little zest in here just to really liven it up. A teaspoon, we always check the back for stragglers. And then, of course, our sugar, because we want this French toast to be nice and sweet. So I'm adding a cup of sugar and a cup of brown sugar. Like I said, this is very decadent. And with the brown sugar, you want to pack it to make sure you're getting an accurate measurement. Okay, and that's going to go right in. And we'll continue to stir this up. We just want to dissolve that sugar into the eggs and all the different leches here. And just make sure that all those seasonings are well incorporated. And I think we are good to go. Okay, so our custard is ready. I've got my bread here. I'm using brioche, which I know is French, but it really is the best bread for this. So I'm just gonna ladle some of this custard in here. I'm baking this. It's almost like a casserole, so we're gonna do layers, kind of like a lasagna. So we start with the custard, and then I'll come in here with the bread and really kind of sandwich it in there. And then depending on the size of your pan, you might have to tear some of this to kind of fit it in here. So I'm gonna make sure that the bread is in here really good so we don't have too much of the custard. Okay, so we're gonna add some more of our custard and really just enough to make sure that first layer of bread is submerged. And don't be afraid to come in here with your hands and like really press this down in here. French toast is better when the bread is like fully soaked in your custard. Okay, then we're gonna come back in here and grab some more bread. And then we're gonna offset it. So this one I have the bread that I tore up, so we're gonna layer the full slices on this side. And then we'll tear some on this side. So when we cut into it, we're getting kind of different layers here. Some more of our custard. Again, just really press this down in here. And you'll see the custard kind of moves up to the top. Because you're probably looking and thinking, oh, you don't have enough. But I do, trust me. And then we're gonna offset again. This is our last layer. And depending on the size of your pan, you should be able to get at least 3 layers, maybe more if you so choose. And I'm using the heel as well because that's my favorite part, is the heel. It has more crust on it. Pour on the rest of our custard. Just generously pour it over top. And I know, again, it looks like we don't have enough, but I promise we do, because we're going to come in here again and really press into this. Now, the top layer doesn't have to be fully submerged, because I kind of like when it gets that nice crusty bit on top, because it just adds some nice texture to everything. So I'm just going to gently press this in. And some of it may be exposed, and that's fine, because that's just going to add another layer of flavor. Okay, that looks really good. Plus, the eggs are going to kind of puff up on us, so it'll all even out. Now we're going to pop a lid on this, and it's going to store in the fridge for about 10 to 15 minutes, just so that custard really has time to get into all the nooks and crannies of the bread, and we will move on to the rest of our meal. Okay, so our French toast is chilling out in the fridge. We're going to work on a tropical fruit salad. Yes, I cheated and got some already cut up fruit. I was going to buy all these and do it myself, but then I saw that they happen to have this at the store, and it didn't look decrepit yet, so I will go with it. But I am going to add some plantains to this. So plantains, I haven't used these in a while, so if you're not up to date on all the seasons, a plantain is very similar to a banana, except you can't peel it like a regular banana. If you try to come in here and just crack it open, you're going to be taking a long time to get it out. So I usually score it with my knife, and then you can kind of break it open like this and peel it apart. But yeah, the skin is a lot thicker. Plantains are really great though. They got a little bit of starchiness to them. You can kind of mash them up. You can cut them up and fry them. They're great in desserts. They're a great kind of side. Or you can just eat it straight like a banana. And that's kind of what we're going to do here. All right, and there's our second plantain. And then I'm just going to cut this into like little half-inch medallions. Okay, these are going to go right in. Now for the dressing, I'll start with some limes. The citrus is really going to wake up all this fruit, brighten it up, especially with some of it already having been processed. It's really good to kind of freshen it up. Sometimes that's one of these limes. Okay, we always check the back for stragglers. And then we're going to roll these out to release those juices. And then we'll just cut them in half. And I've got my little lime juicer here. And it just goes right in like that. And just give it a nice squeeze. We're going to squeeze over all of this fruit. Very nice. Okay. To that, I'm going to do just a pinch of salt. It's going to really wake up the natural flavors of everything. And I've got a little Dijon here.
I like that stuff.
Yeah.
It's like a chili lime.
This is like a chili lime, so it brings a little kind of like sweet heat. And I've also got some agave here, which is nectar from the cactus plant. And I'm going to do a couple tablespoons of that, and that's going to add some nice sweetness to this as well. And then just come in here and stir everything up, grab a spoon. I'm just going to make sure everything is coated in our little dressing here and all the spices and seasonings. And
Yeah, one way to bring this up. I love kiwi.
And that's pretty much it. I'm going to cover this up and stick it in the fridge so this has time to marinate. I like to prep all those things first so they have time to really get going, and they'll be nice and flavorful when we're ready to dig in. Right, so I got our French toast out. I'm going to cover this with some foil. Got the oven preheated to 375. So I'm going to cook this for about a half an hour. Then we're going to take off the foil and cook it for the last 15-20 minutes so it gets nice and bready down on top. And then we will move on to our hash. Okay, so I've got my cast iron here. This is really the best for this. Plus, I thought it would be really fun to serve out of. So this is onions. It's about one whole onion, and then a yellow and an orange pepper. I'm dumping that right in. To about 2 tablespoons of oil and 2 tablespoons of butter. The oil gives us that temperature we want for frying. The butter gives us all that delicious flavor. And then we're going to begin our seasoning. A little salt. And then with the pepper, the salt's gonna draw the moisture out of these veggies and help them tenderize faster. And while that goes, we're gonna start prepping our yuca. So here's the yuca. And if you're saying it looks like a tree root, well, it technically is a root. But it's similar to a potato, it's a starch. We're gonna cut the ends off here. And you need to kind of let go all the way around. It's really thick.
Oh, it's finding the right spot.
Yeah.
Oh, it was two
So we're
fibers
gonna
there.
cut the ends off here. And then you can kind of see it's got this little outer exterior and then the inside. So we're gonna score this with our knife. Getting them nice and deep. And you may have to bring your knife in here and just kind of give it a little like pop. And you hear that, yeah. So then you can get in here. It helps to get it kind of started because it's really on there thick. But you take this outer layer here, similar to the plantain, and it just peels right off. Okay, that is the last of our outer skin. And yeah, it kind of looks like bark or maybe like the outside of like a coconut. Now here's the meat and potatoes of it all. We're gonna slice that in half, and then we're gonna slice it in half again, just because it's a lot bigger here. And you can kind of see where it's already kind of positioned to be sliced in half. So the inside, there's this little core piece that is not particularly edible. So I'm just gonna come in here, make a little triangle here, and pop that out. And there we go, there's our core. So there's a few ways you can do this. You can cube it, but I'm gonna shred it because this has a lot of liquid in it, and then it's gonna be easier to get all that liquid out if I shred it versus just cubing it. So I've got a little kitchen towel here. Just gonna lay that out. And I've got my grater here. We'll do kind of like hash brown size. And literally you just come in here.
Yeah, that's
You just kind of come in here and run it on the shredder. And you have to be careful with it so you're not cutting yourself. But you just kind of come in here and give a little shred, and then you see you get little, almost looks like coconut flakes. So we'll just go ahead and shred this whole thing here. Okay guys, we're just about done here. I got my arm workout in for the day. I think that's pretty good. Yeah, and you can see we got a ton out of here. So, why I put it on the towel, because we're gonna squeeze all this juice out of here. As much as I can get out. So I'm just gonna take it here.
Oh, you can see it dripping there.
And see it. Give it a good squeeze. There we go, yes. Otherwise, we're gonna have some soggy yuca, and that's not gonna be very appetizing.
Right, yeah.
Okay, I think we're good there. We'll come back over to our skillet. And I'm just gonna drop this right in. And then we'll break it up here with our spoon. It's all in one lump from squeezing that liquid out. And then we're gonna season it some more. A little more salt. That's gonna also help pull that moisture out and get it to be nice and crisp. And a little more pepper. Now for the fun stuff, some oregano. Just a little dash of that. And just a little bit of cumin. About a half teaspoon each of the oregano and the cumin. And just give that a little stir. And let that cook down. We can turn the heat back up just slightly. Just so like it's nice and crisp. Now we can prep our eggs. All right, time to prep our huevos rancheros. So I've got my eggs here. This is 8 eggs. So I did a whole carton. I used 4 for the French toast, and I'm using 8 for this. Now why 8? Because I'm cooking for like 5 people, and I always average like about 2 eggs per person. But I'm adding some things to this that are gonna stretch it out, so we should be good here. And I'm just beating the eggs just to make sure they're well incorporated first before we throw everything in. So we're gonna start with some seasoning here. A generous amount of salt, because this is like 8 eggs, and eggs are kind of bland on their own. About a half teaspoon of pepper. And we're gonna throw in the rest of our crema that we did not use from earlier. So you can see that added a ton of body to this, and this is gonna give it a nice tang. I'm gonna stir that in. and it gives the eggs really a lovely kind of pastel yellow. I love that. And then our cheese here, I'm using a Mexican blend, Monterey Jack, cheddar jack, queso. You can use any kind of cheese you like. This is about a cup of cheese, about half this package. And just give that another little stir. Now to make these rancheros, because the huevos is the eggs, I'm cheating here, I'm using a little tomatillo salsa. If you want, you can roast your own chilies and chop them up, but this is just way easier. And then I'm just gonna take a couple teaspoons here in my pan here. This is like an oversized muffin pan or cupcake pan. It's really great for like molten lava cakes, about that size. But it's gonna be perfect for these eggs. Okay, so that is it on the salsa. We're gonna get rid of our whisk and we're gonna switch back to our ladle. And I'm just gonna take our egg mixture, ladle it right inside. I'm filling it about halfway up. These eggs are gonna puff up and we don't want them to overflow and make a mess. Okay, that's good. And then I'll take our spoon here and just kind of swirl that around. So our peppers aren't just sitting at the bottom here. And I grease these with some nonstick spray, so these should pop right out after they've cooled. And the great thing about this dish, it's going to cook at the same temp as the French toast, so we can cook them at the same time. And speaking of French toast, we're going to do a little switcheroo here. So I'm going to open this up, and our eggs are going to go in. And then we're going to snatch our foil off the French toast. And then we'll set our oven timer to about 20 minutes. And then our French toast should be ready to come out, and our eggs, we can move up to the top, add some more cheese, and let it get nice and bubbly on top. So you can see this is cooked down nicely. Those onions and peppers are just nice and soft. And the yuca is even started to crisp a little, so it's the perfect opportunity to add our garlic. About a teaspoon. I always do the garlic last, especially when it's minced like that, because it will burn. And we're going to stir that in. The garlic literally takes about a minute to cook. And then the real star of the show of this hash, even though I've called this episode yuca, is the chorizo. Now the chorizo, if you don't know what that is, it's really just a pork sausage, but it's flavored with a lot of wonderful Mexican spices. So it's just got a nice little smoky heat to it. I love it. It's one of my favorite things. And I took a little of this package out already and kind of snacked on it yesterday because I didn't need all of this meat. So it's just shy of a full package, but you can add as much as you like. But since I've got so many other things in here, I don't think I needed the whole package. And then just come in here with your spoon, or if you have like a masher and break this up. You don't want to cook like one big large amount of this, and I want to kind of spread it out as well, so it's incorporated into all this that we've already got going on in here. You can kind of just take the back end of your spoon and just kind of smush it down and then tear it apart. And then we'll one last layer of seasoning here with the salt and the pepper, and then we'll just let this go until it's cooked. Okay, the eggs are about done. We're going to top it with some of my cotija here, just so it gets nice and browned on top. All right, we're going to go right back in.
And that crab would be so much easier to pour on that baby soup than putting it all up and start raining. Or chili.
All right, this is finally ready to come out, I do believe. And look at that, it's beautifully golden brown on top. You can see how all those layers have risen. I'm going to set that on my cooling rack so it can cool underneath a little bit, and it'll be easier to serve. And our eggs are coming out. See how lovely those have puffed up, and they've got nice little brown edges on them. I just have one more thing to do, and that is our little breakfast cocktail, and we will be ready to feast. Okay, so we've got everything out, and it's kind of chilling. We're going to work on our last thing here. It is a little breakfast cocktail. So I'm starting with some coconut milk, and we're going to throw some ice in here. About a cup or so. And then I've got some orange juice and some pineapple juice. It's just gonna be a nice little frozen tropical beverage. I'm gonna do about 2 cups of each. I love the blender here. It's got like the little measurements on it, so you can see how much
Shake it.
of each you're
Yep.
adding here. And then we'll throw our lid on here and give it a little pulse. All right, that sounds really good.
Woo!
Yes. So it's nice and frothy. It's not like completely frozen, but I want it to have like, and real careful with this. I'm gonna come over to the sink as I pour this on, just to keep it from making a mess. And I think that's good for now. We can always make more if we want. But that is that, and I think we are ready to plate everything up. Okay, so the food is ready. We're gonna set up here. So I always like to decorate when I'm doing theme meals like this, and these I got from Party City, like $1 a piece. They're going out of business, unfortunately for them, but not for me. And these flowers, when I was buying everything for this menu, we were leaving free flowers. I guess they were like leftovers from Valentine's Day. So these cost me absolutely nothing. This jar I did at a crafting party like years ago. So I literally spent like $2 on everything for this. And this paper here came with the flowers, and I really like it, so I thought we could lay that out as well. And then the table runner, we're just going to take it long ways. Just like that. And the flowers go in the middle. And then for $2, we've got our table setting. And I bought 2 of these. You're asking why $2? I bought 2 of these because one of them is going to go here to set the food on. And again, I'm just kind of doing it like this. You start with it on the opposite side, and then you flip it over. And we'll let the tassels kind of hang down, and then we can set our food out. Anything that doesn't have to be hot can go like where it's on the counter somewhat. And then we've got our hash here, and our bread pudding, which is cooled down just slightly. And then I've got a plate that I'm going to do the eggs on. And they should just pop right out. We loosened them up. Just like that. And see, when you get underneath it like this to pull it out, you can see all the peppers and everything that's in here. Just beautiful. And then we'll set this right here. We can kind of spread out the fruit. This lovely bowl of fruit, I thought would make a nice center. Just so you get kind of like 5 things and everything's balanced out. And our little frozen drink mixture we made. And then here's plates for everybody. There's that. Couple things. Some more of our cheese and my parsley. So the parsley, this is dried parsley, and it's from out of the garden. I'm just going to take a little just to give some color. And then we'll sprinkle a little on the eggs as well. Normally for a meal like this, it should be cilantro, but we're not doing that today. And then some more of our cheese here. We'll sprinkle a little here on that, a little on the eggs. Okay, so for the French toast here, we're going to take some more of our agave. We're not using maple syrup for this, we're going to use the agave. I'm going to drizzle a little on top, and we can serve some on the table if anybody wants it. And then because it's French toast, we're of course going to do powdered sugar. And I'm just going to take about a tablespoon here in my little sifter. And just give us a nice little, and this you like to do once it's cooled some, otherwise it's just going to kind of melt and you're not really going to see it. And there we have it, our Mexican brunch feast. Okay guys, time to dig in. I think I'm gonna start with the hash. I like that. Yeah, chorizo is like my favorite thing. All the veggies just kind of blend into it. The yuca, I kind of get that sort of hash brown quality, but you can tell it's not really potatoes, but it's really good and full of flavor. Let's get the eggs here. Oh yeah, look at that. You can see the salsa there and then all that cheese and nice and flavorful. The crema gives it a nice little kind of just something a little different. Our fruit salad here. I want to get a little bit of everything. Yeah. So I like the tropical fruits because they have a little texture to them. And then you get that, the lime zest, and just a little heat from that tagine, however you like to say it.
Okay.
And last but not least, our French toast. Listen to that. And I like this nice little crusty piece here. Oh, so good. So it's really moist. You bite into it, you get all the leches and the flavors of even the little bit of that orange I threw in here, the cinnamon, the pumpkin spice, pie spice, so good. And we'll finish it off with a little bit of our drink here.
Cheers.
Oh, I love that.
Cheers.
You get that acidity, the pineapple towards the end, but you taste the orange, the coconut, and it's just nice and foamy. Really, really good. So we're going to finish up here, but I thank you for joining me as always. Please like and subscribe, leave me in the comment section, and until next time.